Alright. Yeah, it's been a little while since I got to do this. I've been on holiday for a couple of weeks. It's the first kind of full week back to everyday life and work and all that kind of stuff. So the last stream I did was the Magic the Gathering, like going through all the cards thing. So that was slightly different setup and that kind of thing. So it's always a little bit nerve-wracking for me to kind of take a little break and then switch back to the old setup and stuff. There's so many things to remember. But hopefully everything should be working as intended. So if at any point like the sound mixing and stuff sounds off, if like the music's starting to sound too loud or something, let me know, because I had to reset a few things. But hopefully all good. Welcome to everyone once again. So I think I'll take a little bit of time just to kind of get us all back up to speed on what's been happening, because it was a pretty intense session last time. So we have made it, of course, to the Moonflow and Extractor. And Extractor was one that we kind of knew from very early on would be a problem in this challenge, especially if you are doing it no sphere grid style, which I have been doing up until this point. And it was a really kind of difficult one because I knew the fight would be very hard, but I also knew that it was possible because it already has been done by someone before. And so obviously when you know something's possible, it's like, well, I got to find a way to figure this out because I know it can be done. And for me, the big motivation is also obviously the fact that if we can get through this fight, we can recruit Rikku. And in any no sphere grid challenge, obviously she's so important that she could turn the tide back in our favor and help us to continue making some progress until we hit whatever the next wall is going to be in the no sphere grid version. So the motivation was high. I really wanted to find a way through, but it was looking really, really bad. At the end of the last session, we spent maybe about an hour or so just kind of messing around and trying different things, and we kind of got nowhere. We didn't really do too well. Obviously, for that one, I decided to rack my brains a little bit, and I knew there'd be a bit of a break before the next session. So I have spent time basically working on this fight and trying to figure out how to win, because I needed to know, and it's something that kind of was on my mind, and so I spent some time working on it, and I do have a viable way to win. So that's what we're going to do in this session, but basically I knew from the start pretty much that it's going to be one that requires a lot of preparation and grinding if you're trying to do it obviously without using any kind of cheats or hacks or anything to speed things up. So in terms of ingredients for this fight, let me show you what I think is necessary, and then we will see how we go. So let's have a look at this stuff first. So I think for starters, I have both Waka and Tidus with a lightning strike weapon. Now, based on my testing, I think we might be able to get away with Tidus not having lightning strike. And if that's the case, then this isn't too difficult because you can get a lightning strike for Waka from the Chocobo chest. So I can literally just backtrack and get that pretty easily. That's not a problem. So weapon-wise, we might actually be able to get away with not doing much farming and grinding for anything. So that's the weapon side of it. Now for the armor, that's where things get a little bit more problematic for this setup. Now Waka actually has really good armors, so he naturally has these two armors, so whichever one you kind of go for, it doesn't, like, in that sense he's got them both in this file. But for Tidus, it's a bit of a bigger problem, because Tidus, based on at least how I figured it out, he needs Water Ward, and Water Ward is one we did not have. So this is one that I've currently sort of hacked in for purposes of testing and seeing if we can win with it. Now, at this point, how would you even get Water Ward? Let's say you haven't got it up until now, where can you get it from? As Mariah and Dad sends a donation, thank you very much, appreciate it. If you wanted to get this Water Ward, as of this point, I believe, if you don't have one already, you have to backtrack all the way to Besaid and fight the Water Flan. That's how you get this. And even from the Water Flan, it's a very rare drop to be able to get an armor for Tidus. So you would be stuck for hours fighting Water Flans trying to get this Water Ward armor. So this is definitely very grindy and very RNG to get, but can you get it? Yes, you can. It just depends if you want to spend the time grinding for it or not. So that's another important ingredient, but that's only the kind of tip of the iceberg. So in terms of equipment, that's what we need, with the elemental shield, this Water Ward being the most important. in terms of like how long the grind would be, then the enemy database says you can even get waterproof. Is that right? Yeah, that's correct. That's even less likely, but yes, you can get a waterproof from that very same water plan. There's actually some challenges that literally rely on it. But yeah, we don't need the waterproof. Obviously, be nice to have, but wouldn't be necessary for this particular fight. Now, the bit where things get more interesting is going to be the overdrives and the items, because one thing that we were really struggling with against Extractor is obviously once it goes up into its kind of ascended position, we need to bring it back down. And overdrives are, of course, a great way to do a lot of damage and to also bring it down from its depth charges position at the same time. So, overdrives, Waka needs his overdrives, basically. So how do you get these? You would have to blitz for these. You'd have to spend a decent amount of time blitzing, and in doing so, you can pick up all of Waka's overdrives now. So you might be wondering, why do you need Aurochs Reels, for example? Attack Reels does more damage than Aurochs Reels. What's the point? We will get into that. There's still a few more things to discuss. It's a very simple fight, but there's also a lot of weird like nuances and aspects to it that I think is going to be worth explaining as we kind of try to get through. But yeah, Waka needs all of his overdrives. So this is another pretty major grind to get all of these. You have to play a lot of Blitzball to do it. So that's one part. Tidus, thankfully, he only needs Slice and Dice. So that's not too bad. So I already have that naturally. I didn't have to do anything for that one. But for Waka's ones, I did have to hack them in, because I wasn't going to play that much Blitzball, especially off stream. And so those are the overdrives. And then the final ingredient, because we are going to be facing so many depth charges, and obviously because Extractor has Auto-Haste, you really do not get a lot of turns to heal. There aren't enough turns for Waka and Tidus to heal themselves in between depth charges. And so the only way to counteract this speed is for a single item to heal both of your characters. And that is, of course, done by having Mega Potions. So I had 2 naturally up until this point, but we are going to need far more than that to be able to survive in this fight. And so how do you get Mega Potions? You have to blitz for them. So you can kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone. You can try to get Waka's overdrives, and in doing so, you can also obtain some Mega Potions. You have to do some kind of fiddling around with like resetting data, that kind of thing, till you get what you want to appear as prizes. But that is how you obtain Mega Potions. So there's a lot of ingredients that need to come together here, and it's quite a serious grind in order to get them all. But it's far from like not doable. There's plenty worse grinds, I would say, in certain challenges. So those are the ingredients that we need. And honestly, it's the kind of thing where if you guys actually want to see the grind, you want to literally spend 10, 15 hours just watching me trying to grind through and get all of these things legitimately, then you're more than welcome to. Like, for me at least, the only reason I don't do these grinds is because obviously I can't turn them into content, and they take so much of my time that it just, you know, it just doesn't work for me. I don't have the time to do it in my free time either. So yeah, that's the situation. If you guys want to see the grind and see me try to do all of that stuff, then definitely let me know in the chat. But basically, I think it's just not... I don't recommend it, but I'm just saying that I'm not shying away from it. If you guys want me to do it, if there's collectively this big urge for me to see me go through this grind, then I'll do it. It's not something I haven't done before. Thank you for the donation once again, Ryan Dad. Appreciate that. YouTube obtains Aurochs Reels Marathon when. Yeah, especially if I get you guys to do it as well, then we'll be here for the next year. It'll take a long time. But yeah, as expected, I think most people are on the same page as me. I think it's not worth it. And yeah, even like figuring out what we needed and how to do it was quite a process. Okay. So now I think what I'll do is I'll slowly start to get into the fight, and I'll start to talk about a few things, like a few ideas I had, and why this fight is even more difficult than it seems. So let's get into it and have a look at this fight once more. So I don't think I'm going to be aiming for the win, like straight away. And even with all of these things together, it might still take me quite some time to win. as you'll see. But for me, at least, this is sort of the base ingredients that we need to even have a chance. So let's get going.
Ride the shoe puff?
Let's go. So I do have cutscene remover on once again, just to get us in there as quickly as possible.
Luna, we'll save you!
Okay, here we go. Yes, indeed, those high pillow emojis. So many of you are members. You've got to be using those memberships. It's not exactly a huge number of perks. The emojis are one of the best and one of the only perks, so make good use of them. Okay, so now let me see, what do I want to talk about? So one of the first things that I thought about was when I was starting to look through Walker's overdrives, he has status reels. And I was thinking to myself, well, if he has status reels, is this guy susceptible to any statuses that can be applied with status reels? And the answer is yes. This guy is not immune to some of the breaks. Now, the problem is that basically the type of damage that it does, like depth charges and that kind of thing, the kind of damage that it does is not a damage type that can be reduced by applying stuff like power break or magic break. So the damage that you take from depth charges is basically fixed. You can't reduce the amount of damage you take from those. So that really annoyed me, because I thought if there's a way that I can really mitigate that damage, that's going to be great. That side of it didn't work. And then to make things even worse, I thought, well, okay, if this guy has armor break, then surely like my overdrives, my normal attacks, it's weak to lightning, 1.5x, I should be able to take out that 4000 much more quickly if I can armor break it using Walker's reels. Turns out that's actually something that doesn't work either, because Extractor's defense, I believe, is 1. And what armor break does is essentially reduce defense to 0. And the difference between them is so negligible that even though this guy's armor broken, you basically don't do any extra damage. So it's one of the very rare instances of the game where the difference between attacking... I wouldn't say it's very rare, actually. I think that's wrong. But it's just one of those instances where having armor break doesn't actually help you in this fight. So you can afflict breaks, but they actually do nothing for you. And I think it's pretty rare that afflicting an enemy with multiple breaks actually kind of functionally doesn't really change the battle at all. So it's definitely really weird in that sense. So that's one of the biggest problems. I really thought I figured something out. Like as soon as I realized I could break it and Walker's overdrive, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm onto something. From here we can get the armor break and really break it down. And then I was like, I thought something went wrong. I was just like, what? Yes, magic break does help against Aqua Shooter, but it's not really a difference maker, I would say, in this fight. And well, you use up an overdrive trying to afflict that anyway. So that's the situation with that. Let's move this along a little bit, and then I'll show you a second issue here. Hey Papa Mustafa, welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Okay, so the second problem was, I was thinking, well, another thing I can do obviously to bring this guy down is to use my most powerful overdrives. For example, you can use attack reels, right? Let's do it. Let's see if I can even hit this. I haven't been playing for a little while. There have definitely been times I've been missing this attack reels, but the bigger problem is still to come. So look at how much damage Walker does here. 100 per hit for 1,200 damage here, and nothing happened. It's still up there. As we know, the quote-unquote rules are that if you do 500 damage, this guy should be coming down. We just did 1,200. What's happening here? Why is it still stuck? And this is another thing that I didn't realize until obviously I was testing, and I was like, what's going wrong here? The way it goes is that with these multi-hit overdrives, at least I think for some of them, it only takes, I think, like the value of the final hit, and that's the only one that counts towards the 500. So Waka does like 12 times 100, and that basically isn't enough. So I don't think it's the special nature of the damage, I think it's just the fact that it's multi-hit. Carithian's already in the chat, maybe like he can explain it a bit more clearly than I can. But basically only the last hit, I believe, from what I remember, is the one that's actually registering in terms of bringing down that number, that 500 number, in order to bring down Extractor. So it's just bugged, yeah. So unfortunately, that would have been obviously a fantastic way to just immediately bring it back down. And the same is true for Tidus's Blitzace. So Blitzace does over 500 damage as well, but it doesn't bring it down. Now, interestingly enough, if you do attack reels plus slice and dice, and for these, it's pretty small margins. You kind of have to make sure you try to hit them early, quick as well. You do a little bit extra damage if you're faster. So weirdly enough, slice and dice, it does add them up. It's cumulative. So with attack reels and slice and dice, you can bring it down. So yeah, this is the start of the fight. Now from here on, this is where things get sketchy. Let's see what happens. Yeah, so when it comes back down, it either does 1 Aqua Shooter or it does 2 before it goes back up. That's just RNG, which one it does. This time it did 1, and so this means we're going to face the depth charges now. Yeah, it's still no Sphere Grid. Now, thankfully, Waka almost always survives a Aqua Shooter plus depth charges, even if he doesn't have a Water Ward. So there you go. It's very close, but he can survive it. What does Aurochs Reels do again? It basically combines all of them together. It can do elemental reels, it can do status reels, or it can do like the big special move that does lots of extra damage, and it's going to become relevant soon. So now this is the part of the fight where you're in serious trouble, because you have no overdrives to bring it down quickly. You don't have the turns to attack to do the 500 damage, because you need to heal after every single depth charges. And you also need to pay attention to the CTB, because this guy is so quick that sometimes, even if you're using items, you still can't get your moves in on time, and it does 2 depth charges in a row and will kill you. So what this turns into basically is, while it's in this form, you have to try and survive long enough to charge up your overdrives with the damage that you receive. And then once you have your overdrives, you've got to pull them off and bring Extractor back down. And that's where you have to farm for these Mega Potions and make use of them. So let me begin. Wait, no. First of all, I'm going to do this. Just so basically here you have to make sure that it doesn't get 2 turns in a row. Otherwise it'll be game over. So let's just do that. Okay. Yeah, it's especially for no Sphere Grid stuff, this guy can be a wall in general anyway, let alone with Auto-Haste. Yeah, so you're basically kind of stuck in this loop here where you literally have 1 turn. There's no way you can attack, there's nothing you can do, you have to heal. So this is where you're going to use your Mega Potions to basically stay alive. And since you're mostly going to do your damage with overdrives, attacking normally isn't going to be as important here. Okay, there's another one. And you can see the overdrive gauges are charging pretty fast here. Now there's still some more, I think, RNG elements here. Like this isn't... like this won't work every time. And you still have to execute it properly. But Tidus almost has an overdrive here. Now I'm thinking, when this happens, is it okay to be able to use high potions instead? Might be foolish. I think I'm not going to take a risk here, I'm just going to use Mega Potion again. You just need to get more Mega Potions and spam Overdrive. Yeah, I think that oversimplifies it. I have spent quite a lot of time explaining some stuff. If you want to boil it down to that, I think that kind of makes it seem easier than it is. But yes, those are obviously important ingredients of it. Can depth charges crit? No, thankfully. Hey there, Annabelle. Welcome to stream. Good to see you. No, the defending won't help for it either. Okay. So, let me think. So this is the part of the battle that's critical. It kind of, a lot of it depends on how quickly they get their overdrives. And what plays a role in how their overdrives work is how many times they get hit with Aqua Shooter as well. So that also plays a bit of a role. Let me think. So here, what we're going to do is... I think this one I might have already messed up. I think on the previous turn I needed to attack. But let's just take a look anyway. I'm going to throw in an attack here. Basically, when we're in this situation, you need to... Waka needs to use a normal attack. And Tidus can use a spiral cut, and that will bring it back down again. So... But I think I might have left it a little too late. So it's really fine margins. If you kind of heal one time too many, the CTB shifts in like an unfavorable way. But let's just see if we can get this part of the fight anyway. Let's do it. Oh, a crit. Okay. That's also like an interesting thing to throw into the mix. You just obviously have, you don't know when it's going to happen. But if you get a crit, it can obviously help you. So now let's get a spiral cut and bring it down. And once it's down, it's going to be like, how many Aqua Shooters does it do? And who will those Aqua Shooters hit? That's going to be the crucial part here. So let's see what happens. Aqua Shooter. Is this Tidus first? It's Waka. Okay, that's one. Now, if this next one hits Tidus, we're in business. I think it is. Ooh. Yes, okay. I think we're good. I think that was RNG we needed. Ish. So that was some RNG right there. And now... Engage and immerse. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate that. So now, we can still really mess this fight up and lose from here. You have to be very careful. Let me think now. Need to just make sure we get this right. Alright, get this back. So we know that attack reels can do 1,200 damage. We need to keep working down this HP and just bring it within range. I think, can 2 overdrives do it? 4, 4, 8. We need at least 1 hit, I think. Yeah, see, this is the challenging bit. It all kind of looks easy from here on, but the part that's difficult is that even if you just use item every time, you can't guarantee that you're going to get the turns that you need. So you have to be very careful about when you attack and when you swap weapon and when you use an item. Like, I want to get the attack in now. Then depth charges, then Tidus can throw a Mega Potion. I think I should be okay. Then Waka gets a turn. Potion again. I think we'll be okay. Let's go. A crit again would be nice. But even getting 1, like I definitely had a fair few. I had a lot of attempts to try and figure this out. Okay. Those overdrives are coming back up again. Here we go. Okay, so Walker's going to get the full overdrive soon. Okay. So I think what you should do here, realistically, is use Aurochs reels. Carithian, I think that's the right play, right? We did chat about this fight a little bit with Carithian behind the scenes. He did help me brainstorm a little bit. I actually got a win using a slightly different method, and then we chatted a bit with Carithian. It turns out I got incredibly lucky with that win, and so he helped me kind of refine it a little bit to get something that can be a bit more repeatable. I'm just thinking is... basically, the reason I want to do Aurochs reels right now is because if I get it right, it will bring it... it's guaranteed to bring it down because it's not a multi-hit. But if I miss the Aurochs reels, and I'm really not very good at Aurochs reels, especially trying to get the special one that does like the big damage, I didn't really use it much for Carithian's own mod. And so I really have little practice with it, and if I miss it, I think that could ruin the whole attempt. So that's why I'm a bit skeptical. Yeah. So basically, I think here, if you go too early, you could potentially screw yourself. So you could do attack reels. And then basically, if you look at the CTB, then you get a depth charges, you're going to die, and then Titus. So yeah, I think we basically have to camp until we get both overdrives back to back, and then make sure we hit them, basically. I think that's the safest way. And this is where the crit comes in. I think if we didn't get a crit, I'd have to do the Aurochs reels, and I'd have to nail it. But I think because we've got a crit, we have just enough breathing space to use 2 overdrives to finish it. I'm hoping we have just about enough Mega Potions here. Rikku, look what you did to her. So true. Yeah, normally you need 3 overdrives. Yeah, that's how I did it in testing. Okay, so we're nearly there. I think I do it like this. And then can Titus get his turn in? Let's see. This is good. This is going a bit down to the wire because of the crit. Like the turns are a little different than how they normally would be. Oh crap. Let's see. Just trying to hang in there long enough here to pull off 2 overdrives. Because you can't survive 2 depth charges, that really just makes everything much more problematic. So this is actually more Mega Potions than I used last time because I used Aurochs reels earlier instead. I didn't try and tank more of these turns. So resource-wise, this is more wasteful. So with this, I should be okay. Let's see. Let's go. And then I need to just fire off these 2 overdrives and hope that I don't screw up attack reels. And then we should be okay. Alright, here we go. Okay, here we go. There's that one. Brings it back down because I already took another hit. So that's where the hit that Waka made came in useful. And then from here, attack reels. Whew. Man, I was nervous. If I screwed that up, that would be one of the biggest kind of fails that I've ever had on live stream. To miss an attack reels there would have been really, really bad. Whew. That's how it's done. So yeah, it would have needed a lot of prep work to pull that off. Ah, crap, I have the the mod on that gives everyone AP. Whatever. Who needs AP anyway? Ironically, we picked up a Thunderball. Okay, fine. But there we go. We made it. That was the big wall. Obviously, like now, because everything I figured it out beforehand, and I got some pretty good RNG first time round, including the crit and the choice of moves it did with the Aqua Shooter when it came back down. It made it look easier than it was, but basically getting to that point took me a fair few hours after the last stream session that we did. But I am very relieved. So we are back on track. It would have required a pretty big grind, but at the end of the day, a lot of challenges do require grinds. That's just how it goes in this game, and so it's nothing that I'm unfamiliar with. But yeah, these fights always look easier than they are when everything goes well. That is very true. So yeah, I think we have more than earned a save here. Whew. That is a relief. Okay. How the hell did you get attack reels? You would normally have to blitz for it. So, because you can play blitzball at this point of the game, you'd have to play some blitzball to get attack reels. And I guess the nice thing there is that I did it without using Aurochs reels as well. So, for what it's worth, you can do it without utilizing Auroch reels as well. The downside was that we used more Mega Potions. We finished all of our Mega Potions in order to win. But it is what it is. I'm happy to move it along. Okay, now we can just chill. Enjoy some story and having Rikku in the party as well.
Might be more out bed. Keep watch, yeah?
Oh yeah, let me get rid of... Actually, the obviously cutscene remover was on, and we missed the rest of that cutscene, but whatever. Yeah, I was going to say, because we needed that many Mega Potions, I think in the process of getting those, you'd probably end up with Aurochs reels anyway.
Looks like we're stuck here for a while.
Yeah, I didn't grind anything for this one. I don't know how long it would take with all the speed up tricks and stuff that you have at your disposal, but yeah. Okay, let's go.
Kimari fail as guardian on Shupov. Kimari never fail again. Kimari fail as guardian.
Okay. It's a shame that this line isn't voice acted. Yeah, they're top scorer prizes, which also helps. You'd have to be pretty coordinated and make sure that like you get a couple of people to be top scorers at least to really speed up the farming time.
Oh, Walker, at your service.
I think it's just items, right? Okay.
Guard Yuna.
That's all he says there, I think. Alright, let's head to Guadosalam. The Shupaf VA has a higher word to dollar ratio. Absolutely. Probably not as good as Kimari. Unit embodies perfection. Okay, there she is. The savior of any no sphere grid run.
You're not dead? Huh?
No sphere grid, no Rikku. Yeah, that's not happening.
Thought I was done for back there.
Ah!
Huh? I didn't do anything.
Rikku! You're Rikku! Hey! You're okay! How you been?
Terrible.
Yeah, you don't look so good. What happened?
You beat me up, remember?
Huh?
Eh?
Oh, that Machina? That was you?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that really hurt, you know. You big meanie.
Wait, but you attacked us.
Nuh-uh. It's not exactly what you think.
Yo!
Waka here in this scene.
Friend of yours.
You could say that.
Pleased to meet ya. I'm Rikku.
Yuna, Lulu, I told you about her, remember? She was the one who helped me before I was washed up on Besaid. She's an Albed.
Wow, so you like all your life. What luck meeting here, huh?
Oh, Waka.
Praise be to Yevon. So, Rikku, you look a little beat up. You okay?
Waka,
Huh? What?
there's something we need to discuss.
Oh, go ahead.
Girls only. Boys, please wait over there.
Right. Sorry, Waka.
Huh? What? Ah.
Sir Orin, I would like Rikku to be my guardian.
Show me your face.
The difference
Look at
between
me.
Orin and Waka here.
Oh, okay.
Open your eyes. As I thought.
No good?
Are you certain?
100%. So, anyway, can I?
If Yuna wishes it.
Yes, I do.
Riku's a good girl. She helped me a bunch.
Well, I'm for it. The more the merrier.
Righto. Then I'll just have to be the merriest.
It was strange. Even though Waka had always hated the Albed,
Rikku, at your service.
he never realized Rikku was one of them.
Yeah, that scene is always just like, even the eye thing. I wonder if it's just not that widely known. I feel like it's such a characteristic trait that their eyes, like their irises, their pupils, sorry, I guess yes, their pupils, they have that obviously swirl to it. It's just like, I feel like that's such an obvious thing. Like, you need to only look at someone once from relatively close distance to know. Like, it seems like a unique genetic trait where Aura knew instantly. I just feel like it's such a indicator, but at the very least you'd notice it, even if you didn't know it meant that they were Albed. I don't know, it's an interesting one. But let's just assume that that's just Orin knowing things, you know, which he tends to do. Okay, Rikku is in the team. Let's go. But I just feel like if you live in a society where an entire race of people have eyes that are different to everybody else's, I feel like over time that just becomes pretty common knowledge for everybody, you know? I don't know. Anyway, let's move it along. And have our tutorial fight.
Ooh, a treasure chest.
Is it always... I was thinking the same thing, but is it really always, I wonder? You need to look out for all the Albed NPCs and see if every single one of them always wears goggles. I don't remember. Yuna has the Albed eyes. Does she, though? She doesn't have the swirly thing in her eyes. She just has the different colors. Yeah.
I wonder what's inside.
Okay, let's do that.
Yahoo! Oh! You should know, I'm scary when I get mad.
Do the
I'm gonna
chest
use
that
that
face.
item I just got on you. You'll be sorry.
Okay. Let's see. Yeah, screw it. Should we... Is there any value in keeping these instead? I literally created a Rikku mix tier list and I already forgot half the mixes. There's just way too many combinations for all of them. Are 2 power spheres enough? It should be, right? What was that even mix? Something very basic, but surely enough to win the fight. Let's just do it. Whatever. Yeah, that's it. Right. There you go.
What did you just do?
That was great!
I can combine items and use them like this. It's not that tough, really.
I made a mix app type thing. Interesting. Okay. So now this is cool, but we kind of need to focus again because we could get ourselves into trouble. The random encounters are always like generally more deadly than a lot of the boss fights. So we need to be very, very careful here. I need to remember who had what. Yeah, we won't have a Sonic Steel for a little while. I don't think we have petrification issues here. Water, lightning, I think, again, not that important. I think poison is the annoying one here, but we don't really have much poison protection, it seems. Okay. And I think Waka had his TKO, right? Yeah. Okay. I think I'll start by triggering a save first. There's no encounters in this bit, I think. I just want to have another save so we don't have to do that stuff again if we die. Okay, this auto-save should be fine. I think it's kind of weird that Kimahri can't swim, considering the other Ronso can, and he's meant to be a jack of all trades. Also true, and well, he spent a lot of time in Besaid, no? We know, obviously, from the Ronso fangs that the Ronso can swim. He spent a lot of time on an island where there's probably not a huge amount of things to do. But you could use the same argument for Yuna. It's just a bit of a... You can't overthink that one too much. It feels like basically everyone on Besaid should be able to swim. Okay, let's get started with some encounters here. There's not hopefully going to be too many. But this is also already a point of the game where you can start to really farm some items. Using Rikku, like things like stamina tablets, etc. So... Let's see. Oh, good dodge. Ooh. Okay. Immediately come in for a steal. Dragon scale, okay. Get rid of one of these if we can. Couldn't. 921 alarm set's not quite enough. Sheesh. Yeah, I have done my Magic the Gathering kind of bundle opening that I received from Wizards of the Coast. I recorded it like 3 or 4 days ago, but there's a couple of things I'm waiting on before I actually release the video. So if anyone's interested in Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy and see me do basically like an unboxing style video, like card pack opening video for the first time, then definitely tune into that. I think I'll make it a premiere for people to just chat and just see what I pulled. So we'll do something like that. But there's something I'm waiting on. Basically, I've been trying to set up a PO box. Because since this whole card business has happened, there's been people that's wanted to like trade cards, to send cards, to do stuff like that. Oh my god. Yikes. Whew. While I'm talking about this stuff, I'm just gonna die. This is brutal. Rikku getting one hit KO'd here is really not nice. But yeah, I've been trying to set up a PO box, and I wanted to kind of include that in the video as well. So that's what's taking a little bit of time. Let me see. I think I'll survive both of these turns. Yeah. But that's what we're dealing with right now, like Rikku getting one hit KOs and shit. Whew. Like, yes, it's a no figure challenge, but it's not like a no escape, blah blah blah. That's just too much. Yeah, I've been wanting people to send me Rise of Shoepuff cards, so that's gonna be one place you can send them. Yeah, for that reason, I think leaving Rikku on the front line is still not a good call. Probably still keep it like this for now. Will they make an MGS deck? That would be cool. Okay. So this, I think, encounter set's slightly more bearable.
Leave it to me.
Dragon Scale. They already had some cards with Yoji Shinkawa as artists. Oh, that's really cool. Damn it. Do love me some Yoji Shinkawa MGS artwork. Yeah, that TKO has not been working too well so far.
So, how shall we do this?
Can I still do 127 at least? Nope. So we're really getting close to the limit of what we can reasonably handle without some kind of first strike and a lot of escaping. It's pretty rough. Okay, gotta make sure there.
So who's next?
Yeah, he needs 2 hits. Yeah, not too bad. Okay, finally TKO doing a little something.
Let's go.
He only did 5 cards, so I mean those cards must be pretty damn valuable. But yeah, Rikku not getting any AP for some reason. Don't know why. Let me just have a little... how did I even bring up that tab? Like that. Let me just turn this entire party earns AP off. Maybe turning it off also like weirdly helps. Yeah, I think that's got to be the biggest factor. Just a lot of people who don't play Magic, like myself, that are kind of invested in this whole thing because of the cool artworks and the cards, and obviously the inherent rarity of some of them, and blah blah blah. Okay. Here we are. Story time.
We have been expecting you, Lady Yuna. Welcome to Guadosalam.
Even this guy has a Magic the
This
Gathering
way,
card.
milady. This way.
Me?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Oh, I beg your pardon. I am called Trommel Guado. I am in the direct service of our leader, the great Seymour Guado. Lord Seymour has very important business with Lady Yuna.
That never gets old.
Business with me? Whatever could it be, I wonder?
Please, come inside the manor. All will be explained. Of course, your friends are also welcome.
Twist our arms, why don't you? Ah, I almost forgot.
Oh yeah. Customization. We're going to be needing some of that in this challenge. Yeah, so I definitely, thanks to people like the Annibal, I should have some Rise of Shoepuff cards on the way. I can definitely buy some as well. They're very cheap, but it's just kind of because you get them. I need to find a way to get them in bulk so I don't have to pay postage on every single individual one. You know, it might be a bit annoying. Hey, Cotillionaire, welcome to stream. Good to see you. Yeah, I think it's a good call. Hopefully the stream will hold up though. I'm waiting patiently for Final Fantasy
What would you...
10-2 attack only. Thank you for your patience. Might be waiting a while though. See you later, Ryan. Take care.
Oh, how fare you, Sir Guardian? It seems that Maester Seymour has returned to Guadosalam. He's young, but he deserves our respect.
Hey Sarah, welcome to stream.
Care to hear about the far plane or the fireflies?
Yeah, these guys all have their own Magic the Gathering cards as well, including Shalinda. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Magic Gathering people. Yunalesca doesn't have a card? Is that really a thing? How is it that like Shalinda has a card and Yunalesca doesn't? Is that really a thing, or have I just missed it for some reason? That's ridiculous. How can Shalinda and Trommel have a card and Yunalesca doesn't? Yeah, like it could be her boss battle form, like it could be form 3 of the boss battle. Like, come on, man. Donna's in there. Her outfit, I think, is just as racy as hers. I don't know, man. Like, that's a very strange omission to me. Anyway.
The far plane's the place where fireflies born from ascending gather. They appear in the shape of people who've died and gone to the far plane. Quite the phenomenon. How I wish I understood it more fully. The owl bed have a theory, you know. They say the fireflies are just reacting to visitors' thoughts and dreams. But only the dead appear on the far plane. No image of the living has ever been seen. It's a great mystery, but maybe the dead leave a bit of themselves in the hearts of the living. And that little bit borrows the fireflies' power for their paranormal performance. Hey. Or maybe not, who knows?
Hey,
and that, as they say, is that.
A good little theory for what happens at the end of 10-2, basically.
Care to hear about the far plane or the fireflies?
No worries, see you later, Cot. Take care.
They may be called fireflies, but they aren't really flies, you see. They're those lights you see whenever a fiend dies. The little fellows are responsible for a few fantastic phenomena. Visions of the past, spheres, fiends, these are all the fireflies doing. In fact, fireflies have something to do with aeons, too. The dreams of the faith reach through the spirit of the summoner. And that which is unreal becomes real for all to see. Or maybe not, who knows? And that, as they say, is that.
It just drops like the theory then, or maybe not. Thank you, Dan, for the gifted memberships. Appreciate that. Always love seeing that green in the chat, and obviously the badges and the emojis that come with it. Yeah, some of the price on those cards have been totally insane. And yeah, some of them may, I guess, continue to go up. Definitely been pretty wild. Okay, let's spend a little bit of time going around Guadosalam. At least we got 1 Mega Potion back. That's nice. Yeah. Throw in the or maybe not. Yeah, like this is a unique little bit of dialogue here in that sense. Not too many, I think. Yeah, they turn into Final Fantasy Tactics, guys. Tis old Guado I speak. I mean, it would have been cool if it was just, I guess, like literally a different language in that sense, rather than just an older form of English. I get what they're going for, but since the Albed have their own language, it would have been kind of cool also for at least some of the Elder Guado to speak their own language that you kind of never really end up understanding, and it's like a lore thing where you're wondering what they're actually saying. Hey Hoffenheim, yes indeed, we are live. Been a little while. It took took a break. But thanks to the Magic the Gathering stream, I think it's been 3 weeks since our last stream, so not too bad. But yeah, I think at this stage in terms of Magic the Gathering, one of my goals is to try and maybe get some kind of summon set, I'm thinking. Like over time, like buy some singles to create like a summon set. I think like protagonist-wise, the protagonist cards are very expensive. And I already have my like nice Final Fantasy Amano disc collection thing that's already on display. And I feel like it's kind of too much of the same thing. So the alternate arts for the summons look really cool. So I kind of would like those.
Oh.
But weirdly enough, for Final Fantasy X, all of the summons have their own cards except for Ifrit, because they used Final Fantasy VIII's Ifrit. Final Fantasy X doesn't have one except for this secret lair thing that's like super exclusive and super expensive. So if you wanted like a specific card for every Final Fantasy X summon, one of them is like you have to specifically try to buy from this set that's like crazy expensive.
Thank you.
Which is annoying. Okay, could any of these be useful? Isn't it normally Tuesdays? Yes, it is, but I returned very late this weekend. I just had too much work to do to catch up, so I couldn't do it on Tuesday. But I'm looking to go back to the Tuesday slot next time. Yeah, I never would have gone for it anyway. That like secret lair thing is just too much madness, too expensive, whatever. So I'm not going to end up with a full set. Too much. Yeah, this is the one that I was looking at. The Annabelle, do you have any of the secret lair stuff? Are you interested in it? Because like the prices are just nuts, so I don't know. But also this is a lot of money. Like if I spend my money on this, it's like I don't have too much else. But yeah, for this run in particular, I feel like it could be useful, but it just feels like eventually I'm not even really going to get a turn to attack anything anyway, so kind of what's the point? It does feel to me like eventually it's going to turn into first strike escape basically for everything. Because anytime I hang out, even if I try to do 1 or 2 attacks, I'm basically going to die. So I'm not really sure. The full main set in foil, bloody hell. Without variant art cost about 350. Wow. Then, in that sense, you're in the money, I guess. Like those, you must be making a big profit on those cards. Still no Sphere Grid. Yes, indeed, no Sphere Grid yet. I think we're just going to leave it alone for now. Like, I still want, obviously, stuff like the Sonic Steel, etc. We'll look into it later. There's still a fair bit of story stuff to get through first. So it's going to take a little while before we get back into the action, but Thunder Plains is going to be nasty. What do you think will be the next roadblock? Honestly, with Rikku now in the party and the fact that we could theoretically like get lots of really OP items through like Blitzball and shit, like we could literally get Dark Matters if we wanted to. So if you really want to just do absolutely whatever it takes to win against bosses, I think with Rikku in there, things start to get much easier, so I don't know, honestly. Be mindful that a walker here disappears the moment you go into Thunder Plains. Ah, okay. This is cool, one of the rare people that actually refers to you by name in the game. What are you playing on? This is the Steam version on PC. When do we get another chance to even buy the Fatal? Okay, so is it like, does he still sell it in Macalania? I don't think they're all the same. They've got enough variety going on. All about the money. You'd have to backtrack to the Moonflow South Wharf to buy it. Okay, fine. Right, I think we can move things along a little further here.